back, guys, to the Spurgeon Piper. This is Wilson with you. So today we are covering 5 encouragements for you beginner pipe smokers. Now these are encouragements or recommendations. It's advice that I've given before in various videos throughout the past. Some of it I followed when I first got into pipe smoking myself because of other veterans encouraging me and leading me. And then some of these things I did not follow and I wish I would have. So it's kind of a mix of all of them. And hopefully it's an encouragement for you, as I still get a lot of emails, which I'm always grateful to get. You can always find my email below and send me questions if you have them, and if I can, I'll be happy to answer them. And so hopefully this helps you. Let's get started. Number 1, stick with a few handful of pipes when you first start off. And no, I don't just mean 1, and I don't mean 4 or 5 or 6 necessarily, but I do think you should have a handful. This may be 3 corn cobs. Or it may be a corn cob and some basket briars. And when I say basket briars, I mean briar pipes that are cheap and expensive because they may have some minor defect. And so they're, quite inexpensive. And you can usually find them, if not online, you can find them at your local brick and mortar store. So I don't encourage just one. Maybe you would think that someone would encourage just 1 pipe. I would not. I think you'll have a better experience if you have 3 pipes to rotate through, to learn how to clean, to let one rest, to taste the distinctions of a tobacco in 1 pipe. And let's say an aromatic, you're trying in 1 pipe, and the other pipe you have English, and maybe that other pipe you're having Virginia's or Virginia Perique blends. So I do encourage that. I think you'll be better off not just having 1 and smoking it over and over. That's what I did, and it did mess with how I picked up flavors. It did affect the overall condition of the pipe, and I don't mean that I ruined it. It just got really slimy and grimy inside. So I do recommend you get a few pipes, inexpensive for sure, that you can rotate through. So that's number 1 advice. Get a handful of pipes. Stick with those. Number 2, I would say that stick with a few beginner blends. All right, so I've made some recommendations, and you can find, there's one link above right now. You can find those that I've made recommendations on and videos I made, but stick with some beginner blends that other YTPC members have encouraged, or maybe you found some recommendations elsewhere that will be suitable for you to get started into the rotation, and stick with those for some time. So if you're buying 3 tins, or maybe you're buying a bulk blend and it's maybe a couple of other tins, however they come, stick with them even if you don't really like them, and smoke through them. Smoke through that tin. If you buy 2-ounce bulk bag, smoke through it. Get used to smoking, picking out flavors. Even more important than picking out flavors, get used to getting down a rhythm. Getting down how to keep your pipe cool. Instead of, contrary to what I just said, instead of focusing, hey, I want to find something that tastes the best, you may be better off just picking with something that is fairly cool smoking and allows you to control your breath, to practice breathing, and to keep your pipe cool and have that best experience in that regard. So pick with 2 or 3 blends that are known to be great for beginners, and practice with those first before you jump into trying out all of the loads of blends out there that are so awesome that I review and things like that. Give yourself, depending on how often you smoke, give yourself 6 months to a year, and get in a routine and get familiar with those blends before jumping into something else. I think you'll have a better experience going forward in your pipe smoking hobby. Number 3, stay with cheap and accessible pipes and tobaccos. So first, let me go with stay with cheap. When I say cheap, I don't just mean cruddy pipes, by no means. Corn cobs, let's go with. There are some people who just smoke purely corn cobs, and they've been smoking for years, and that's great. And I think you'd be way better off starting off with a lower cost briar pipe or corncob pipes. So I have some wonderful pipes that are on the expensive side, I have this Artisan Blend by Dragon Briars, this Rhodesian, beautiful pipe. I love it. I'm glad I didn't buy this when I first got into pipe smoking. This costs, you know, somewhere around the mid 200s. I'm grateful. One thing I did not do when I got into pipe smoking was buy expensive pipes. Yet I see guys do this. I've had more than one email, quite a few emails on, hey, I found this pipe. It's like $120, $150. I'm really getting into it. I really like it. I'm getting into pipe smoking. I'm going to buy that. And I really, really encourage them not to do that. Get yourself a corn cob, or get yourself a very inexpensive estate pipe that you can find on eBay or on smokypipes.com. And there's various other places to go to. Probably, again, I want to stress, I think you'd be better off with getting a couple of corn cobs to get used to the hobby, even if you know you won't stay with corn cobs. So I encourage that. That will save you money. And hey, what if you don't stay with the hobby? What if it's not for you? What if you don't enjoy smoking? You thought you would, but you didn't. You're not out a lot of money on it. You're not going to get all of it back, even if you sell your pipes, more than likely. So start small. Get used to several pipes that are inexpensive, and when you got the hang of it and you know you're in this hobby, then jump into some more expensive pipes that are really neat looking, that are, you know, really they're really catching your eye, and then you'll be ready for such steps. So I definitely encourage that. Number 4, learn from veterans. Okay, we're not all blessed to have someone nearby at a local pipe shop that we can learn from. If you do, go there. That's the best way. I mean, no matter what you're learning, guitar, or, you know, music or sports or what have you, obviously in person is best. So I encourage you to jump on that. Most guys I've met in cigar and pipe lounges, they're willing to give you tips. Watch how they smoke. Watch what they do. That's a great way to learn. But if not, if you don't have that, YTPC community is a great place to learn. Not only me, but there's quite a few guys out there. Obviously, Mutton Chops is a well-known one. You probably already touched on his videos before me. Learn from them and slowly watch their videos and learn how they're doing it. Don't try to don't take the path on your own and make the similar mistakes. That's wasting your time. So learn from them and be patient on that process. Okay, it will take some time. And that leads to number 5, my last point, and maybe one of my biggest. Don't give up easily. I try to make folks understand that this is not as easy even as a cigar. And there's things to learn with cigar smoking, don't get me wrong. But pipe smoking has more steps. It's a little bit more intricate. It involves more of a process, and so it's not straightforward. It's not lighting up a cigarette and lighting up a cigar. It involves a bit more. Keeping care of your pipe. How do you take care of your tobacco? Where should you store your tobacco? How should you pack it? How should you light it? How should you smoke it while enjoying it? And there's all these steps that are involved in missing one, or kind of leaving one out, or messing one up is what can kind of leave you with some disappointment. So remember to be patient. Well, I'm smoking and all I taste is ash when I first started smoking a pipe. Be patient. Your tongue's not used to that. I mentioned that because I had an email recently on that. Be patient. I remember my tongue feeling rubbery after first smoking a pipe, and I thought, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. But I'm glad I kept going because I got to get used to it. So be patient with it. Continue watching the videos. Practice, and eventually it'll just become it'll become easier to you as you continue on. So if you have questions, let me stress again, send them my way. I'm happy to help wherever I can. I know there's other guys in the YTPC community who are willing to help as well. In fact, you guys, if you've been in this for a while, give your recommendations, your encouragements below. I know it'll be helpful for those getting into it, because there's always more questions. There's always more getting into the hobby, and it's great to come alongside them and help them going forward, as that helps us keeping the pipe tradition going. So I hope that's helpful, guys. If you have questions, feel free to give them below or an email, and we will talk to you soon.